Hello, people. Hope you've had a wonderful day, night, morning, afternoon, evening, what have you. I just want to bring up a couple of quick subjects. Try to make this as quick as I can. First off, the NFL protesting, kneeling crap that's going on. This, I feel, there's being a big stink raised about this, and not to make the issue of why these people are protesting, not to minimize it or devalue that to their purposes for doing so. But I just want to bring something up as far as that protesting and the big rigmarole that's being and continues to be cycled through the media. There are much larger issues that I feel that need to be addressed, and I feel that with Kaepernick's the reason he originally protested, I support him on that. I think that it definitely is going on. If someone's to say that racism does not exist in our society, our culture today, they are absolutely wrong, and they have no grasp on the reality of the situation. And it's a shame. One of the players I saw that made a statement, a very short statement on this, was he said, hey, it's police brutality or whatever, but he said, really, it's about people, if people just respected each other and treated them better. Damn, I got another customer. No, they didn't come in. Okay, so yeah, I'm trying to do this while the shop's open. But anyway, if people were to respect each other a little bit more, rather than get angry or what have you, and that's how we've been conditioned these days. I don't know, is it? Well, I have some ideas, but I'm not going to get all involved into it. So anyway, I think that the root of that issue there also causes a lot of other strife and whatnot within society, and not just racially, but as far as economic class or whatever you want to call it. The inequality of the wealth inequality. I feel that if the economic system was more balanced for everyone, then we wouldn't have all of this strife, this division, the division that it causes, because people are stressed out. They don't feel that they've had the same opportunities that this other group of people have had, and whatnot and what have you. Well, that's taking actually, I think that's the easy way out. And as I said in a previous video, there can be no price placed on a human being. Now, somebody might say, oh yeah, you're only worth this, or you aren't worth nothing. Well, that's their opinion, but really, we all humans are priceless. Our worth is unmatched. You cannot put a price or a worth on a human being, because we're priceless. And back to however you want to believe it, even if you're an atheist or whatever, I'm sure you would have to admit that, hey, yeah, there is some maybe stuff that we hadn't figured out yet, and that if that's the case, we all have this divine spark within us, and if you look at the, I'll just say a Christian perspective or whatever, and, the kingdom of God is within us, kingdom of heaven is within us, or what have you. So that tells me that we all have a piece. We are all made up with a little bit of God, creator, source, whatever you want to call it, within us. So can you put a price on the creator? Can you put a price on the source? Can you put a price on God? What have you. I'm sure some people say, oh yeah, sure, yeah, I give him $1. He's worth $1. They've never done nothing for me. Yeah, well, whatever, but that's not reality, okay? It's priceless. We can't, we haven't been able to click our fingers, snap our fingers, and pop out a fully grown, educated, intelligent, whatever human being. I'm sure if we could, there'd be a price on it, okay? And that's going to be our downfall, because we put a price on everything. We put a price on everything, but not many of us understand or know the value of anything. Because if we did, we wouldn't be going through all this division and controversy and arguing and these wars and all this stuff, on and on and on. So what I'm saying, I think the root problem to it is how we've been conditioned to think of what money is and what value is, and how everything is just relegated down to the cheapest that you can pay for something, the cheapest that when you go to acquire something, you want to get it for the lowest price that you can, the lowest price possible. But when you go to get rid of something, to sell something, or to exchange something, you want to get the most that you can get for it. And if you really think about it, there's something wrong with that, okay? Because not only humans, but we put prices on our environment, our planet, our resources that we have. And people will say, oh, well, we need, this is, whatever, if you want to call it capitalism, but that's just a word, that's an ism, okay? The fact of the matter is that we have devalued ourselves. We devalue other people. And in the process, we have devalued ourselves. That's the root cause of all of these problems that we're having. Now look at the hurricane, the one that hit Houston. The communities, people pulled together, and they got things done. They helped each other and whatnot, and that's great. But when after an event like that, the devastation, and all this, after that fades, people tend to revert, and this is human nature. People tend to revert back to their previous behavior, and that previous behavior has devalued the human being. Okay, and I think people should think about that. From the people that are mad at the people kneeling at the football games, from the people kneeling at the football games, what have you. There's a lot more issues, and in my opinion, more important issues that need to be addressed rather than causing a bunch of division. And I can understand Kaepernick's protesting. I can understand it and why he protested. or is protesting. And I feel that that stems from us, our fellow human beings, devaluing the other human beings. Remember, we are priceless. We are invaluable. There can be no price, material value, worth, whatever, placed on us. I mean, some people say, "Oh yeah, you're only worth $10, whatever. Oh, you aren't even worth 2 cents." Well, that's their opinion, but generally, that's not true. Okay, and the sooner we understand this, the sooner we'll be able to work these issues out and get beyond them and start benefiting from our creativity. We are co-creators, okay? And it seems that we're just creating a whole lot of chaos right now. Disorganization, a lot of strife, on and on. And I think that this also ties into the devaluation of a human being, ties into our economic system, okay? We have insurance companies, we have pharmaceutical companies, we have medical industries, pharmaceutical industry, insurance industry, whatever. And for instance, we have devalued the worth of a human being to the point where, say you have children, and you love your children very much, and you would do anything you could, to provide for them if they got sick, that you would do whatever it would take to save them, to make them healthy, to make them well, to cure them. But the way the industries are set up, there are a lot of cures for many different diseases, illnesses or conditions or whatever, and they're being suppressed. They're being pushed to the side, and the majority of the public don't know about them. Therefore, the pharmaceutical companies are allowed to continue to research on these medicines that they're able to overcharge everybody for. And you're paying your insurance policy premiums, and they continually go up, and then you have the stipulations placed. Oh, well, you had pre-existing condition. Oh, we don't cover that. Oh, we don't cover that. Oh, well, you have it. Well, we're going to have to charge you more money for that. Okay, so that in itself, right there, is showing that proves that humans are being devalued. Okay, there's been a dollar amount, a lack of going deeply into it, a dollar amount placed on a human life. Okay, that is not moral. It's not correct. Although it keeps the system going, as we can very well look around and see, it also generates and supports, propagates, cultivates an atmosphere of greed, of underhandedness. The people that can't afford the proper care for their child, for whatever reason, if the child's fortunate enough, a hospital will cover the cost of it or what have you. But there's not that many people doing that out there, that are covering these costs and things. There's a debt being generated, and somebody's paying for it somewhere, but a lot of times those exorbitant prices can't be paid, and therefore the people go without the treatment or the medication or whatever that they may need, the procedures, and they perish, they pass away. What if you could save how much you loved your mother, how much you loved your father, depending on what your age is. If they're still around, hey, I'm grateful that they are for you. But if they aren't, what if their lives, could have been extended for another 20, 30, 40 years? Okay? That's not an impossibility. It's just that it doesn't seem to be a viable remedy for these big corporations and such. And within our society, people say, "Oh, well, you need money. You need money. We got to pay this. We got, it costs this much money." Well, okay, I can a little bit agree with that, but largely, no, I do not agree with that, because we're conditioned to think that we need this stuff. And this stuff, oh, well, if you have the money to pay for it, you'll be healthy. If you don't, oh, well, too bad. Well, then we have the food industry, these processed foods, the genetically modified foods, the vaccines, all this stuff. It's being generated to basically, I feel, to keep people away from their peak health potential, and not, because within that system, the health system or whatever, treatments make a lot more profit than cures do. And on the same token, unhealthy food, non-nutritional food, in turn will feed profits into that medical industry, the health industry. And I've said it in a previous video, systems within systems within systems. It's evil. I honestly feel that it's really not going to continue for much longer. I think people have had enough. More and more people are waking up every day to those facts. I think changes are coming, and we're due for those changes. And if we continue not to appreciate each other, to consider that everyone is priceless and valuable, and we continue to be goaded, hoodwinked, if you will, or gaslighted into arguing and fighting with ourselves, with each other, that system of greed, that value system, the monetary system, is going to continue. And they're not going to give this system up. They're not going to give it up, without a fight. And I'm not saying a physically, punch you in the face or shoot you with a bullet or whatever, that kind of fight. This is what's going on, is a battle for your mind, a battle to condition you, whether or not they can condition you to think the way that they want you to think, or you learn to think as a human being and understand what your value is, what your kids' value is, what your family's value is, and what everybody else's value is. As long as we refuse to have that respect for each other, we will continue to be suffering in this system. Because, like I said, that family, the parents, whatever, if you could be with them another 40 years, what would you pay for that? What price would you pay for that? And consider this. If things were done in a much more balanced way, it wouldn't cost us anything, because people would be wanting these things to come out. They would be wanting people to be healthier. They would be wanting to cure these diseases. They would be wanting to live in peace rather than constantly killing people, because the most money is being made in the health industry and in the defense industry with making more and more and more and more weapons to sell to other countries and what have you, so that there can be a constant conflict going on. Do your research, look into it. Thanks for watching. I hope this isn't too long. I tried to make it shorter than my other ones. Bless you all. Have an awesome day. As Rex Bear would say, be the change you want to see. Thank you.